smooth, funky. Was this the music Kevin Barlow rolled up to City Nights with? Was he bumping this when he parked his car at City Nights? He got the VIP parking?
No comment.
When he rolled up to the Beehive? When he rolled up to Mission Rock?
I miss Mission Rock.
I do miss
the old Mission Rock.
The old Mission
Rock.
The
new one is beautiful. Shout out to the Osborne family.
Yeah. I love it.
Get a little food.
The old one. They got great oysters at that Mission Rock.
They do, isn't it? It's a beautiful setting. You sit out on the deck. Speaking of which, I shot a video for the go-to. I don't know if you know about this series, but
no.
We're doing this thing with Trimark, which is an equipment supply place here. If you're a restaurateur in the San Francisco Bay Area or anywhere in Northern California, you can get all your equipment supplies there. I went to a unbelievable pizza restaurant yesterday called 00.
Where's it at?
It's right down the street here on Folsom, and they cooked me up there. It's called the Castro Pizza. Bonte, it was incredible. Everything was made from scratch. The dough, the mozzarella was like these little tiny crumbles of mozzarella.
So they make the dough in front of you?
Everything was made. It was unbelievable. And then the guy stretches it out. It's Chef Bruce Hall, and he's just a really, really nice guy. I had their Castro Pizza. It was mozzarella, basil, tomato sauce, obviously the fresh dough, thin crust pizza, delicious in a wood fire oven.
Oh, wow.
It was next level.
Wow.
Next level. Pepperoni and sausage, handmade sausage from scratch that they make there. You got to check it out, 00. And
00.
The reason that I want to make sure that we pump up some of these restaurants, imagine the journey that these restaurants have gone through during the pandemic. We all have our own.
And now they're back.
Our own little COVID story, whatever your family situation was, your living conditions were. Imagine trying to run a small family business with all of the chaos that was going on. And so we got to support these people. Go check out 00. It's on 4th and Folsom. You can't miss it. It is incredible pizza. If you're going to an event at the Chase Center, if you're going to AT&T Park, if you're in Moscone Center, go check out 00.
All right, Kirby, got to give away a gift card.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Fifth caller right now. If you're the fifth caller right now, call 415-951-2386. Again, that's 415-951-2386. Fifth caller gets a free gift card to Kirby. For Kirby. At Kirby, they come to your house to come fix your flat tire, to change your oil, to work on your brakes, whatever you need done. Kirby. Fifth caller right now, 415-951-2386. Let's go take some calls before we get to Benjamin Albright. Benjamin Albright coming up in moments.
Yeah, and he said something very interesting about Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo and the drama there.
That's what my train of thought was moving. Joe Flacco starting week 1 for the New York Jets against his former team, the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh.
The NFL, man. Unbelievable.
When you say Joe Flacco, I throw up in my mouth.
Ian, San Jose, what's happening?
Gentlemen, how you doing this morning? I heard the rat-a-tat-tat. I'll be fast. I've got a lot to say about a lot of things about the Niners, but the offensive line, everybody's talking about how terrible it's going to be, but Trent Williams hasn't really played, and the Niners have something not a lot of other teams have, other than Trent Williams to anchor the entire line. They got Daddy Brunskill, who turned Aaron Donald into a crybaby, and they have two guys that come from either the backfield or on the end of that line that are the two best blockers at their position. They're not. This offensive line is not going to be as bad as people think. They're not going to be road graders, but they are going to protect Trey Lance, who can get out of there and run anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that.
Good call. And, one thing that I think we're underselling, Shanahan is the architect of the offense. If anyone could scheme around some inefficiencies on that offensive line, it's going to be him. He did it when Staley got hurt in the middle of the season in 2019, and I feel like we've forgotten about it. Yeah. They lost Juszczyk, Kittle, and Staley for stretches that year, and he found a way to still be potent.
Well, they started 2 rookie tackles in that game in L.A., which put the Niners on a map in the NFC West. Remember that? It was cool, and I think it was Brunskill. 2 rookie tackles there against L.A. in the first drive was Harry. Aaron Donald was killing it. And then the Niners settled down. They won that football game going away 28-7. So Shanahan can scheme around it, but it's definitely on everybody's mind here. Let's go to Rolando in Napa. Rolando, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Nothing much. I love listening to you guys. Calling for beautiful. It's pretty hot in Napa, but it's beautiful out here, and I love listening to you guys. So you guys do awesome work.
Thank you.
You guys, Butcher Boy, you were saying some stats earlier, some odds. I got two more for you. Well, after the first week of the NFL, after the first week NFL is done, will the leader in the NFL in sacks be on the 49ers, and I have another one for you. Over under, will the Niners have a shutout this year?
Ooh.
What do you guys think?
Oh, a shutout. Man, how many shutouts have they had in the last few years? Oh, man, a shutout.
Shutout. That's
I
gonna
would
be tough.
probably bet against that because like a field goal here or a field goal there.
That's a great bet.
That is a great bet.
I would bet on that just to play.
One shutout?
One shutout. So who's the team?
How many shutouts were there in the NFL last year?
Right, that's a great question. So here's a candidate for a shutout. Seattle week 2.
Are you
Because of Geno
serious?
Smith. Because of Geno Smith. Washington maybe Christmas Eve.
Carson did outplay you in the rain.
He did. I mean, you're not going to do that.
But by then, he will already have pissed off all his teammates and the organization.
Yeah, shutout's tough. It's a great one. I would bet that, though. The odds are probably great.
And
on
then,
that.
do you think the 49ers have the guy who's going to lead the league in sacks on their roster? The numbers would probably tell you it's statistically more likely that person comes from one of the other 30-something teams. I'm going to say it's going to be Bosa this year. I'm putting it down. I got a strong feeling that it's going to be Bosa. I could be totally wrong on this. This is how I'm feeling. I think we're primed for one of the great 49er defensive seasons of all time, and it's going to be this year from Nick Bosa.
Oh, T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett. There's some studs out there.
Well, and
I can't believe
your
Robert
team has
Quinn.
to be winning
Yeah, they have
so
to
that
be
the other
winning.
team's passing
no
more.
doubt, no
like
doubt.
opportunities matter.
No doubt. So they've got to put teams in the pass.
That's why I struggle with Pittsburgh.
But I also look at double teams and triple teams. Like,
no doubt.
How's that going to work out? Let's go to Benjamin Albright, though. Albright at Albright NFL. We love him on the Morning Roast. Broncos insider for KOA Colorado. Been doing it all. He's tapped into the NFL, and he refuted a report the other day that Lance was upset about Jimmy Garoppolo coming back. And Benjamin, good morning to you. Look, the Jimmy Trey stuff has driven us crazy. We've kind of steered away from it this week, kind of just focusing on the Bears and the game plan and all the other pieces here. But what is this noise about Trey Lance, quote-unquote, being annoyed? And why did you refute that report?
Well, I mean, that part of it's not true. Jimmy's been somebody that Trey could lean on a little bit and learn some things. Jimmy's not happy with the situation. Trey's, it's uncomfortable. It's like that three-way where she won't leave in the morning. But it's a situation where I think if you look at it from the internal optics of it versus the actual practicalities of it, as soon as the Niners get the trade package they want, Jimmy's going to be gone. I don't even expect Jimmy to be there at the end of the season on that roster, even with that no-trade clause. They wanted to be rid of him. They couldn't get the package they wanted because they had no leverage after surgery, and so now it's just hanging there in the air. But Trey Lance isn't annoyed at the situation. He's like, hey, look, it is what it is. It's a business.
So you don't believe, hold on, 1 second.
Because he's really tapped in. Benjamin's really tapped in.
That's why we always have you on, Benjamin.
You always are like two steps ahead of everyone.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So you believe by November 1st, the trading deadline in the NFL this season, Jimmy's going to be gone from the 49ers. You think he'll be traded?
I do. I do believe he will be traded before the trade deadline.
And you also said, and maybe I'm just mincing words here, so correct me if I'm wrong. It sounded like you said Jimmy's the one who's a little irritated that he isn't in another location, and it's not Trey Lance.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say that Jimmy's irritated per se, but Jimmy wants to play football, and he's not going to be playing football there with this Trey Lance's show now. And I've seen all this just bad reporting out of there. Talking about the coaches don't like Trey Lance, that's absolutely false. Talking about they're going to switch back to Jimmy Garoppolo, that's false. All that stuff, that is absolute nonsense. I don't know where this stuff gets cooked up. It is the Trey Lance show. They traded those picks for Trey Lance. They weren't trading it for Mac Jones. All this revisionist history from people who were wrong just need to shut their mouths. They were wrong.
Yeah, they were. Wow,
I love
that.
You, Benjamin.
Benjamin Albright on the Morning Roast on 95.7 Game, just guns blazing. He's on fire right now. And look, we're in your
roast.
Dude.
It's the morning roast. This is not the morning give people a free pass.
There we go, Benjamin. There we go. Save that drop, baby. I love that because we're Team Trey Lance. I believe Trey Lance should have played last year, but hindsight's 2020.
Neither here nor there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I do believe they're all in on Trey Lance. Why is there so much noise when it comes to Trey Lance? We hear all these rumors, all this stuff about it, and we don't know where it comes from, but it feels like the teammates love Trey Lance. There's been no controversy over Trey Lance getting the keys to the starting job. I don't know where this stuff comes from, but Jimmy, him being a backup, you probably believe that it's more an indictment on Nate Sudfeld and Brock Purdy as opposed to Trey Lance, right?
Well, right. I mean, this team got to a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. So if something were to happen to Trey Lance and he were to get hurt out there, well, you've got a guy who knows the locker room, knows the system, and has been to a Super Bowl before and can remain competitive. So in the interim, while you're still looking to deal him, you've got the ideal backup situation. The only little kind of catch in all this is that, if Trey Lance stumbles, then you're going to have fans and media grumbling about it, talking about, get Jimmy back in there and try and create a schism in the locker room. But beyond that, I mean, it's an ideal situation until you trade him. You know you're going to trade him. You know you're going to try to recoup some of those picks you spent on Trey. So as long as Trey Lance stays healthy and plays well, you're good to go.
Wow. I mean, I'm legitimately jaw-dropped right now because every day there's a different report. Peter King, Albert Breer, whomever it is.
Michael Silver.
Saying, hey, the reason that Jimmy... Well, go. Just get right in there. Why do you think that those reports from some of these people aren't accurate?
I think they're hearing some things or they're told some things in some places, but I've had direct conversations with some people, and I just... What I hear is almost the opposite of what I'm seeing out there with a lot of this stuff. And there's a reason that he's not Michael Gold, is because he comes in second place every time with those reports. So don't worry about anything coming out of silver medal. As far as the rest of that stuff, though, I just think it's the unknown. I think people fill the unknown in with whatever fits their preconceived bias. They don't know about Trey Lance. They really haven't seen a full body of work. And so they fill in that unknown with whatever they can in order to generate content like us. I just hate that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we do too, and we're frustrated, but we're in the bubble, so I think we get filed as like Trey lovers, deniers, all these other reports are inaccurate. Right. So you are outside of the market, and the things that you're hearing are just kind of like because I'm at practice, I'm watching the kid. Yeah, he's had some up and down days, but like I watched Jimmy last year. Jimmy was terrible at practice.
Jimmy was awful at training camp.
Not to say that he wasn't good during the games, but like I feel like all of this hysteria wrapped around it. Like right now, Peter King saying by week 7, my bold prediction is Jimmy Garoppolo will replace Trey Lance. I'm like, what is this even based on?
Yeah, wasn't his bold prediction last year that Drew Brees was going to come out of retirement? I mean, not all those bold predictions, and I hate that term, comes true. I like Peter King. He's a respected reporter, and I like Albert Breer. I hate Michael Silver. He's a joke, but that's beside the point. As far as those reports go, though, they're hearing something somewhere. I talk to guys that work on your coaching staff, all right? And I'll just tell you, like, a lot of the stuff you see out there is just not legitimate.
What do you think are reasonable? What do you think is reasonably going to happen? Because I have no idea what's going to happen with Trey Lance.
The expectations,
and I don't think anybody really has a great clue. But the people that you're talking to, are they worried? Are they excited? Is it kind of like wait and see? What's the temperature?
Well, one of the guys is no longer on your staff. He's moved on to Miami. But I'll tell you this. He said, and he told me directly, he was like, Trey Lance has the tools to become the next Pat Mahomes. It's just a question of whether or not the guy that he is and the guy that he could be ever meet.
Wow.
So and the sky's the limit there.
Well, I love his mental makeup, too, with Trey Lance. And Benjamin Albright on fire right now, covers the Broncos, covers the NFL for KOA Colorado. Very respected reporter in a game. He's tapped in. Shanahan with this new toy in Trey Lance. What do you expect week 1? This is the best weaponry Shanahan's probably had with Kittle, IU growing in the system, his third year, and, of course, Debo coming off of his season. I think sky's the limit for Shanahan with Trey Lance, but what are the realistic expectations for the 49ers and Trey Lance this season?
Well, you're going to get some growing pains like you are with any young quarterback. I think you have to design something to kind of find out and take advantage of what Trey's comfortable with, and then you add to it. You find things that help him grow, and you add to it piece by piece and try not to overwhelm him. And, eventually, a year and a half, 2 years down the line, you got a complete quarterback. That's kind of the plan with any quarterback. As far as this season, you're going to have some ups and downs. You're going to win in spectacular fashion. You're going to lose some head slappers. And that's just what happens when you have a rookie quarterback. I think there's a nice added dimension with Trey's legs in his offense, and I think that creates another headache, especially with the run fits that that San Francisco gives everybody because of the makeup of that offense. But I also think this could be a breakout season for Brandon Ayuk. Everybody I've talked to over there in that camp says he's having a hell of a camp, and he's going to be a factor this year.
Yeah, I think he may lead the Niners in receiving. I love Brandon Ayuk's prospects this season, Benjamin. I'm right there with you there. So Jimmy Garoppolo, I want to circle back on this before we let you go. Jimmy, you believe, will be traded. What team will possibly need Jimmy? Is it the Washington team? Carson Wentz probably goes down because that seems inevitable. Is this Seattle? Will the Niners even do a deal with the Seattle Seahawks, Benjamin?
See, that's the thing. Seattle's the most natural fit. I'm just not sure they'd do that deal. And I think Seattle was content trying to wait for him to hit free agency and is content for that. But that's the most natural fit. The other one would seem to be Houston, who did sniff around a little bit. but they didn't really get involved as far as making a formal offer that I understand. As far as the rest of it goes, I look for a team that's potentially a contender that gets a surprise injury to the quarterback. I think that's, we try to predict these things, and we look at the state of rosters right now, but we don't know who's going to get hurt in 3 weeks, and it's a team that, is ostensibly a contender that would make that trade. Like, if Matt Ryan went down, would the Colts make that trade? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Gold medal performance from Benjamin Allbright so far. I mean, my God.
Hey, we got to do this again soon.
Please.
We may need you as a weekly. But real quick, you're at there. Emmanuel Sanders retiring out of nowhere. He's a former Niner. Helped to go to the Super Bowl in 2019. Everybody remembers the overthrow from Jimmy in Super Bowl 54. But Sanders was a very good receiver, maybe underrated, but he's calling it quits, huh?
Yeah, he is. We knew this was going to happen after the Buffalo loss. He tried to kind of mull it over and think about it, but in the end, just decided to go ahead and hang it up. He'd won a ring, and he'd gotten the money. I think he's headed for a career in media. I'm actually headed over to his retirement presser now. So,
oh, nice.
Hey, well, you know what, Benjamin? You're a roaster. The roast line on our YouTube chat, Comcast Business Text Line, Twitch, they love you. They love you right now. You're just absolute fire.
We really appreciate it.
We appreciate the time, man. And we're glad that you're refuting the report because this driving is crazy. We've been Team Trey Lance from day one, and it just seems like there's so much noise surrounding the young man. It's all good. We'll see what happens week 1 against Chicago. Well, Benjamin, thanks for the time today.
Absolutely, guys. Anytime.